Joining us on the telephone right now is an eyewitness to yesterday's events. Glenn Wilworth was about 100 yards away when the events unfolded. Thanks very much, sir, for calling in. Can you tell us what you saw?
Yeah, sure. My building is directly across the street, and my office happens to face the Inland Regional Center parking lot. And I saw somebody run by my window, and I got up to go see what was going on, and they rushed inside my building looking for shelter, saying they're shooting everyone. So I told everyone to just kind of hunker down, lock all the doors, bring down the bay doors, and we locked everything up. I grabbed my sidearm, I holstered it up, and I went out to where I could already hear the shooting going on.
And what is the scene like right now? What are you seeing right now in the area?
Well, I've been in my building the whole time. I just came out and spoke with the FBI, gave them some statements. And right now, inside the area, it's very quiet, very calm. There's still a heavy police presence, but there's not a lot of action. On the outsides here, I'm actually over here by some reporters, and seems to be a lot going on here, a lot of buzz, but inside there's not much happening.
Glenn, first of all, nice job. I mean, really reacting and self-policing. We've talked a little bit about this with Steve back and forth. You know, the idea of having a community of policing. How does it feel to kind of wake up to that and hear that the neighbors saw a lot more than you saw, and were not able to bring it upon themselves to act or do anything?
Well, that's the whole reason I was out there. I know we're in California, and I understand, people's views on guns and all, but, people were hiding behind me because I had a weapon. So I wasn't there for any malice. I was there to try to help people. And obviously somebody must have felt safe because I had a bunch of people hiding behind me. So.
Yeah, Steve, talk to us about the fact that, we see that they were all suited up with weapons. I mean, it feels like the way that Robert Gray was explaining how this took place yesterday, it feels like terrorism, but the cops are not saying that just yet.
Well, they're going to make sure they have all the dots connected before they say that.
And it could just be homegrown.
Yes, it's terrorism, all right? It's not workplace violence. It's terrorism. It could be homegrown. It could be foreign influence. But getting back to his point, the policies, the politically correct policies are now, we are paying the price for that. We have the government, the White House and the Justice Department have instilled so much fear in the American people not to take action. This guy's a hero. Yeah. He had the courage to go out there and protect his neighbors, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
And every American should understand that you have a right to protect yourself. But unfortunately, we've been conditioned in reverse, and that has to change, and it has to change quickly.
And it even went that way last night when the president spoke. He was asked about this, and he didn't know anything about it. But he went right to gun control policy.
Well, I mean, what he should have done is gone to the Second Amendment, which is your right to keep and bear arms. I mean, the reason for that isn't a political issue. It is for emergencies like this. I mean, for one, I'm not a big, gun guy, but when I wake up in the morning and I don't have a leader waking me up to this, then I start thinking to myself, who the hell is going to protect me in my neighborhood if somebody's building this in their garage? I mean, how do you deal with this, Steve?
Right.
Well, the fact of the matter is, we've talked about it before, it's leadership. The head of the United States government, he has to wake up and realize, hey, you're safe and comfortable in a White House on Pennsylvania Avenue. Yeah. We're paying the price for your failed policies.
Right. Glenn Wilworth, thank you very much for calling in. You said you had a weapon, you went downstairs, and some of your neighbors felt safer because they knew you had a weapon, which you acquired legally when?
I've had this weapon for probably 15 years, 20 years now. It's been quite a while. But the thing was when the vehicle was leaving, that's what kind of set me off to think that was whoever was doing that was in that vehicle, because they were leaving very slow. They weren't trying to rush out of there. Everybody else was fleeing, and these guys were driving, very slow and cautiously, and they actually started heading directly towards me.
Right.
and I was quite sure that that was them, but not 100% sure. And so I did post up and take aim at them, because if they did keep coming, I was afraid something, I just didn't want them coming over to my facility where I had employees and my wife over there.
Yeah.
So I needed to make sure. And they did change course, and they left and went out the opposite direction. So.
And of course, at that point, they were met with the police. We're looking at the vehicle right now, that the windows are shattered because there was a gun fight which this chase erupted in, where, of course, the two suspects were killed. Thank you very much, Glenn Wilworth, for joining us. We appreciate your reactions.